Welcome to Hard Factor, Republican congressional candidate for District 11 in New Jersey, Tom Toomey. Tom, thank you for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. It's great to be here.
Yeah.
Nice. Of course.
I like your painting in your office. It's very professional.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the 12th hole of Augusta, actually. So
nice.
That legendary turn that everyone struggles on. I had my father had the painting actually, and he was moving some stuff around. I'm like, can I have that? He's like, sure. I don't hang it up anywhere. I'm like, yep, that's my office painting.
That's awesome. Amen corner. I got the double Macho Man going on behind me.
Right.
and I've got you behind me.
I was gonna say, I can see me.
How's that? Yeah.
Is that good? Is that intimidating to see you behind me? Okay, cool. So the 11th district, we have Hard Factor Pat. What district are you in Jersey?
You know, man, I don't think I know I'm not in 11, but I'm a stone's throw from 11. Okay. I looked at the map. I could be in 11. Haven't registered to vote here in Jersey yet. New resident, but I am gonna.
You're Rutherford, correct? Is that correct?
Yeah, Rutherford. Some potential voter here, Tom.
Yeah. Nice.
Just let you know.
Yeah, you're right by Giant Stadium over there, Rutherford.
Oh, bro. Yeah, I can see the stadium from a balcony. I'll be able to see
my tailgate. I have a Giants tailgate every Sunday.
Wow.
During the season. You should come, man. It's huge. Got a 42-foot long trailer. Ben and Mike's G-Men tailgate. You guys got to come.
That's how you get the votes, Tom.
Steaks and lobster.
Tom, I already have my tickets to the Washington football team versus the New York Football Giants game.
I'm telling you, you're more than welcome to come. Come join.
Wow.
We hang out. We get there very early in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. Set everything up. We're there. We got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a hell of a deal. You should definitely join.
You guys got hammered, huh? Starting off.
It's work. It's all work.
Right. Yeah. When you're hosting the tailgate, I used to host the LSU tailgate down on campus or help with it, and it is nothing but work. Yeah, for the people.
It's nothing but work. I'm there at 6:30 in the morning, and we're setting everything up, and I'm working the whole time. We're cooking, we're doing all that kind of stuff, and then we're breaking it down after the game. Yeah, it's literally all work, but I love it. It's great group of guys, awesome time. Everyone gets along. It's awesome.
Nice,
cool. That sounds great. Probably the best campaign event you're going to have going every Sunday as well.
Yeah, right. It makes me, I'd say so.
Yeah. Right. Tom, I see you have a history in artificial intelligence. Sure. So right off the bat, I think everybody obviously wants to know, do you know what year the robots are going to take over yet? Or are you still calculating that?
Yeah, what year did it become sentient?
Mm-hmm. Well, iRobot said it was 2050, right? So I'm going to stick with that. Will Smith is pretty accurate on a lot of things. So, we're going to stick with that.
We've got some time. Now, is there a way to get on the good side of the AI? My theory is that the robots like cats. So I just got a bunch of cats, and then they're like going to need people to take care of.
Why do they like cats again?
It's just a theory. It might not. It might not work out. It's but I have a gut.
Boil this theory down. Mark likes cats.
Yeah. So maybe the robots will too.
It's hopeful. He's very hopeful. That's the case.
But when's it going to happen, Tom?
Again, I don't know. Like I said, 2050 was iRobot, so we're going to stick with that for now. I got to dig a little more into it, but for now we'll stick with what iRobot says.
So let's dig into that history. You have a history in AI. You are an entrepreneur. Is that correct? You have a history in small business. Like where?
Yeah, so I started out my career, actually, I worked for a food manufacturing company and catering company, the largest catering company in New Jersey. They ended up moving into food manufacturing. And I worked directly hand in hand with the CEO of the organization. I was his right-hand man and learned all of the ins and outs of small business. So, for the very beginning of my career, I got that awesome mentorship that not many people get. But yeah, I learned the ins and outs of small business, what it takes to grow it, what it takes, what red tape messes with it, when you're trying to grow things and stuff like that. So yeah, it was an awesome experience. And everything from working on the floor of the manufacturing plant in a giant fridge, timing to see how long it took to make meals and things like that, and see what our cost analysis was, all the way up to doing sales and driving all around the country to sell to places like Stop and Shop and ShopRite and all these other companies to sell our products. So I've done all of it top to bottom, and I learned firsthand from a CEO of a business who built it up from the ground himself. So it was a really cool experience there.
Nice. And what makes you? What was the jump? Why would you want to get into politics? Because it seems to me like politics is a profession where if you're doing very well at your job, only slightly more than 50% of people are ever going to be happy with you. So what was the decision in politics? What's the motivation behind it?
Yeah. So it really is as basic and as simple as, as evil can only triumph and good men do nothing. I'm sure you guys know this. Everyone talks about politics, this or that.
Heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, right. In Washington, it's true. I was down there. I was on President Trump's reelection team. I was down there for a period of time. You meet everyone, all that kind of stuff. 95% of the people in that industry do not care about you. Now, there's 5%, 10%, whatever it is down there. And luckily, that's my connections down there. And they're fighting hard. They're trying to do that kind of stuff. But people just don't care, right? So when I got done with the campaign, I thought to myself, what do I really want to do? So I went back to business. I'm in business now. But I was sitting on the sidelines for a little while. And I'm like, what do I want to do here? I want to help the country. I want to help the people. And how do I do this best? And it just came to my decision was, if you want something done right, do it yourself. So I decided, I'm going to jump into this. I'm going to run for Congress. I'm actually going to fix the problems rather than just saying, oh, this person should fix it or that person should fix it. I'm taking actions into my own hands. It's really as simple as that. There's problems going on in this country. Politicians don't care about the people. It's time for someone who actually cares about the American people and benefiting them to get involved in this and do what's best for them.
That sounds a lot like what Trump said when he ran.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of what, the piece of what people really liked about President Trump was that he wanted to fight for the people, that, he saw it from a totally different angle than I'm seeing it from, but it's the same concept, right? What is going on? There's a lot of problems. We need to fix them. No one in politics is going to fix them because they're all, they want donations. They want to go up the political ladder, things like that. They're worried about themselves. They're not worried about the people. And I think that's the one appealing thing that I think everyone or most people like about President Trump was that, he really did do this out of being genuine and wanting to fight for the American people.
Yeah, that's one opinion. But yeah, Tom, I got a question for you. So on your campaign site, and I guess when you're crafting a narrative, right? So it's pretty interesting. This is your first run for Congress, right? So you got to come up with what's your angle? And one of your angles is businessman, as we covered. The other is outsider, which I thought was interesting. That obviously was very successful for Trump. But when the political pendulum is swinging, right? Sometimes outsider is a great way to jump into the double dutch, so to speak. But I noticed some of your talking points are kind of hitting the party line of getting people getting a certain group of people fired up, which seems like insider. What are you actually doing as an outsider? Have you thought about that, or what is there a specific issue where you're like, oh man, this is how I can approach it differently? I saw the critical race theory piece and the gun piece on Newsmax, which those are just get people fired up. Those aren't issues, what are you doing as an outsider?
Yeah, so the outsider piece to me, when you look at it, is just someone who's actually going to fight for the people. The insider piece is who's going to benefit Washington, who's going to work to climb the ladder in Washington, who's going to work to benefit their party. I'm here to benefit and help for the American people, not a party or not a group or organization, right? And that's what makes the outsider piece is that in Washington, again, I've been there, I've seen it with my own two eyes. They only care about people in Washington. The line of, hey, this is a small town and get in line goes around all the time. And, when you're not in that line, you're an outsider. And that's what makes me the outsider is that I'm not going to play their political game. I'm not going to say, oh, just shut up and do this because it's beneficial to X, Y, and Z. It makes it look good. No, if it's good for the people, I'm going to do it. If it's good for Washington, if it's, against what's good for Washington, I don't really care. I'm going to do what's better for the people.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
and that's what got me thinking, which is interesting, right? Because again, this is your first congressional campaign. So I feel like you have to, in some respects, play the game. You know what I mean? Right now, there's a lot of goodwill to be garnered, right, in the base of the Republican Party by talking about some hot button issues, right? That don't necessarily affect your state at all. And I feel like every Republican is subjected to have to do that, right? How do you balance that, right? Because you gotta kind of for lack of a better term, give a light hand job, but not a full hand job. To
toe the party
right?
line. There's literally an expression.
Like donations.
Yeah, but I try to use a hand job metaphor.
Right.
I mean, I get what you're saying, right? I mean, a lot of people want to toe the party line and make sure that it's this and that. Look, I agree with a good amount of what the Republican Party stands for, right? I'm not saying here I'm a total outsider, this and that. I am an outsider, but I do agree with much of what the Republican Party stands for. I believe in low taxes. I believe in less regulation. I believe in your right to bear arms. I believe in your right to free speech. I believe in all of those kinds of things. So from what you're saying, right, is that sometimes it looks like I may be towing the party line. It's not because I'm towing the party line. It's because I believe in those things. I believe in low taxes. I believe in low regulation. I believe in the right to own a gun, your right to free speech, the right for parents to decide what happens and, what their children are being educated and things like that. I just believe all of those things, which is what me a Republican, not necessarily towing the party line.
I mean, that makes sense.
Sure. So, Tom, have you done any role-playing scenarios like stranger rolls into your house with briefcase full of cash? Because right now you're uncorrupted, but what happens years from now when I offer you millions of dollars to as a lobbyist? Are you still gonna be?
So you guys may like this answer. So actually, when I called my grandmother, who I love dearly, and I called her to tell her that I was doing this, and she was so happy that I was getting involved and things like that. She said 2 things. She says, "Tommy, I love you. If you get corrupted while I'm alive, I'll kill you. If you get corrupted after I'm dead, I will haunt you for the rest of your life."
Nice.
So me getting corrupted, my grandmother, I love her dearly. She's an old school Italian woman. You don't want her haunting you for the rest of your life. She's from the Bronx originally, then moved to Jersey. You don't want that, right?
That's good.
That's good that you have her on your side. You're going to need her because trust me, DC corrupts people. And just because I know that, I want to ask you, how would you actually fight against bureaucracy in DC? And also against some of the stuff that you mentioned earlier about people being, money grubbers, essentially money grubber career politicians. I mean, I grew up with a family that worked on Capitol Hill, saw a lot of that firsthand. So, what would you, are you against super PACs? Are you for term limits? What kind of things, radical things is Tom Toomey into that would actually fight the bureaucracy in DC?
Yeah, absolutely for term limits. I 110% for term limits. I think that's where the majority of the problems come from, is that people lock in these districts that are plus 30 red, plus 40 Democrat, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They don't have, and then they get donors that come in and flood them with money, and then they don't have to worry about, I'm never going to lose a seat. I can do what I want.
Pretty cush, yeah.
That is, in my opinion, there's so many things to do to fix this. And then I'm one man. I'm not going to fix all the problems in the world, but people like myself who get elected, the big part is that we need the majority of us who actually care about the people to do that, right? That's step one, is people like myself running and getting involved. One person isn't going to do anything, right? There's 435 members of Congress, 100 people in the Senate. What we need to do is one by one go in and get people elected who actually care about the people, who want to take care of the people, and then you can pick it off that way. But the first step, like you said, is the term limit piece. You're supposed to represent people. You're not supposed to be a career politician and last there for 50 years like we have with Joe Biden, or we have with Maxine Waters or Nancy Pelosi or any of them, right? We need to term limits is the first step.
Mitch McConnell too. How do you feel about dirt? Are you going to get in there? Let's say you, I don't know, see some Congress people who are just hanging around too long doing a bunch of cocaine, and you say, click on your camera. Are you down with that to get them out? Like, how dirty are you willing to play for the good American people?
There's bigger fish to fry than a little bit of cocaine, though, right?
It really is to me, and I know this is going to sound like a political answer, but it truly is to me. It's about doing things that are going to benefit the people, right? And the things you need to expose are the things that they're doing that are not benefiting the people, right? For example, with the COVID relief bills, right? There was a lot of stuff in that COVID relief bill. We were sending a certain amount, I think it was like $80 billion, whatever it was, maybe wrong on the number here, overseas to Iran. Why? I thought this was a COVID relief bill to help the American people and to help us get back on track. Those are the things that I believe in exposing and showing to the world, right? Like things that matter, things, your government is saying this and that, but this is what they're doing behind the scenes, right? It's not about necessarily, like what you mentioned about, this guy does this or this. That doesn't do anything, right?
Have you ever been to the Kennedy Center though, Tom? Beautiful place, I hear.
Oh, I used to go past it every single day on my way to the election site or our campaign headquarters. I went and drove past it every single day.
Man. They better leave Wolf Trap alone. They better keep that around. What about aliens? If you find out about aliens, you're gonna tell us, or what? Or if they say not to,
make a deal.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big deal. I would love to know about aliens myself, actually.
But as soon as you find out,
Yeah,
What if they say we'll tell you?
I don't think they allow the congressman to find out because that's
This is years down the road, Tom.
We need your word now, just in case
You
you end up getting that security clearance.
You might need to play the game to get to the big fish.
President one day, so that's. I guess I'll take that as.
If your grandma's backing you all the way, then I have no doubt about how high you
ghosts
go.
on your side.
Yeah. Right.
What's up with this garbage? I moved to the state of New Jersey. I get some girl pregnant, and she's like, "You got to come to New Jersey." I'm like, sitting pretty down in Texas. I got my weed guy. He comes to me. Okay. He's feeling the pressure of legalized weed around the country. So he's like, he's offering this service, man. It's awesome. He's got to come. He's got like his whole thing.
Is he offering to babysit yet?
No way I'd ever let Harry Potter babysit. But I come to Jersey. I'm like, I don't know anyone, but weed's legal, but I can't get any weed, bro. And I had to sign up for a medical card. I got my medical card, and now they're making me show like proof of residency. It's crazy, man. Are you going to support the federal legalization of marijuana?
There's a couple questions to that, right? Overall, I understand the problems of, hey, no one wants anyone behind the wheel of a car high. I understand that.
I don't even own a car, Tom.
Right. Yeah, right. But that's the overall problem. It's not about the individual, it's about the whole, right?
Agreed.
So, overall, right, that's a big problem is you can't be behind the wheel of a high. You also can't get this into schools and with children, right? Whether it be tobacco, alcohol, anything, you can't get it in the hands of children. So I understand both of those. But when you look at it from an economic perspective, right, if we implemented that federally, it would create millions of jobs. It would create, trillions of dollars into the economy. I'm very, very big on, because it's very dear to me, is the opioid epidemic going on in this country. And what happens a lot with opioids is that someone is, a basic person, whether they're a construction worker, a laborer, they're an athlete, whatever it is, they get injured on their job and they're prescribed opioid pills for 90 days. What happens then? Everyone gets hooked. If you were prescribed marijuana pills, that wouldn't be the case, right?
They'll write a Sonata.
That's smart, Tom.
It couldn't overdose on you. Can't overdose on it. So it's all those kinds of things where that's very, very beneficial, right?
Yes.
I think that is huge. Again, the opioid epidemic is huge to me. I've been to a number of funerals for it, and that's a big thing there. It fixes it. What it also fixes is right now we have in this country is a lot of people import their plastics from China. I know there's a big push in, making sure we don't have any plastics. It's still going to be imported. Well, big problem with plastic, it's not biodegradable. You can take hemp and you can make it the same material as plastic, the same use as plastic, but then if it gets dropped in the street or if it gets put in our oceans or anything like that, it doesn't affect the wildlife because it's biodegradable. So there's a ton of benefits of legalizing it.
Right.
I think we just need to have an overall sit down of how do we do this properly, make sure people aren't high behind the wheel, make sure it doesn't get into school,
treat it like alcohol.
Like that. Exactly. But
America's a weird country because hemp used to be our biggest cash crop at one point, like next to tobacco, right?
Right. So. Yeah. So there's benefits of it. I'm not going to sit here and deny that, but there's, the big thing is it cannot be in our schools. People cannot be high behind the wheel. We have to figure out those two things. But overall, yeah.
I like it.
Tom, I got a question. So you were on Trump's last campaign, right?
Sure.
Number one, do you have any insight as to whether or not maybe he's going to run in 2024? And two, do you think that's good for the Republican Party, or do you think that he should let someone else step in and take the lead?
Sure. In terms of that, that's the $1 million question I get every single time I speak to anyone. You're on Trump, people, what's the deal? I have no idea.
Okay, so you lie every time.
The same rumors.
This is like the aliens, Tom. You're not going to let us know about the aliens.
Tom, you didn't hear the thing that I heard from the insiders, that he's going to dangle a run right up until the last minute, and then he's going to pick his endorsement. Blink twice if that's true, because I heard from a very good source.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where that's the rumor that everyone wants to hear.
Right.
Not me.
I'm not in that tight knit of a circle with him where I would know anything like that. So,
What about, do you think that he should run, or do you think it's time for someone else to maybe like a DeSantis or something?
I know everyone loves DeSantis. I'm a big fan of him. I think he's probably the best governor we have in this country right now. But from an overall standpoint, I'm weird. People don't like this in politics. I actually believe whoever is best for the country, who's going to actually benefit the country most, should be running for president and should be the president. I don't look at it from a political angle.
Tom, what do you think about this? What if the country went back to selecting the president, like George Washington, the very first one?
It's an honor. Do you accept it? Do you accept that it's a collect call from America?
Well, George Washington still won the Electoral College.
He did 69 to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Nice.
he's the unanimous president ever, but he still won the Electoral College.
Let me try to get
This guy.
an ageism quote from you here, Tom. Shouldn't we go younger, either from Trump or Biden? Aren't those guys both a little bit too old?
Well, I understand the understanding of a need for a new face, right? I definitely
Just
understand.
younger.
Yeah, that's why I'm running for Congress, right? I believe that there needs to be mass overturn. I believe that it's time for people who care and the new generation to come in and step in. But again, it really comes down to the fact of who is the best person for the job, who's going to put the policies in place that are going to do best, who's going to stand up on the world stage when we need it. We know the Biden administration isn't doing that at the moment. It really comes down to those things, and I will judge that on if the former president decides to run and he's standing up for what I believe in and what's best for the country, I'll decide it then. But overall, should he run and things like that, I'm a firm believer in just who is the best person to be in that position. It's the most important job in the world, and you need the best person at the time in there.
I prefer some of those Biden gaffes. Those are incredible, huh?
What is that?
Said, how about all those Biden gaffes? Those are incredible, aren't they?
Yeah, it's quite interesting, aren't they?
Yeah.
Good for somebody, though.
Yeah, it's good for us. I'd like someone that doesn't still write a check at the grocery store personally. Do you guys want to do a Jersey quiz since Pat's from Jersey and Tom's from Jersey? I got a couple of questions. Do you guys have any?
Tom,
I mean, we can go ahead.
You're a Morristown guy. Is that the case?
Yeah, I live in Morristown now. Yep.
Okay, so a little background on me. Neptune gentleman, spent my first 10 years on the shore in Ocean Township, and I was whisked away to Capitol Hill where I met these gentlemen. Thank God, right before I got the accent, and now I'm back. So that's where it started.
I was actually born in Monmouth as well. When I settled down as an adult, and where am I going to settle down my life as an adult was when I came out to Morristown. But I'm a Monmouth County guy myself. Actually.
Yeah, bro.
Interesting.
So
okay, Monmouth County guys. Whoa.
Okay, let's see.
Where'd you go to high school at?
I went to Christian Brothers Academy, actually, CBA.
Okay, I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Sounds good though. Sounds private.
First question.
I don't think you got into that one,
is whoever gets closest, and you can go over. This isn't Price is Right numbers. Total population in Jersey. Who wants to go first? Pat, go first.
8 million people. I think it's like 8.3, but 8 million people.
Pat?
I'm going 8.4 million people.
Oh, that's low. That's blow ball. I mean, that's rude. It's telling me 9.2 on Wikipedia. So you guys are pretty close, but that was dirty pool, Pat. So Pat's gonna have to go first on this one.
Price is Right tactics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pat's gonna have to go first in this one. Total land mass in miles. Just you're not gonna get close, but just take a guess.
Square miles.
Square miles.
Ooh, let's see. I'm gonna go with 3,400 square miles.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That's low.
Low, yeah. Real low.
I'm trying to think.
Just say 3,401 and you got it in the bag.
Well, I mean, let's look
No,
at this. From the top of the parkway to the bottom is 173 miles. And then it's 80 miles out that way. So you're looking at what was it, 50,000 square miles? I'm not thinking off the top of my brain right now.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of square miles. It's lower than Pat said. What is the all right? So 1-1. What is the state bird of Jersey? Does anyone know? Anyone can just guess.
It's goldfinch. It's easy.
Is it? You want to get more in particular, or you want to stick with?
I only know it as the goldfinch.
Okay.
American goldfinch.
Yes, the American goldfish. Did you look that up?
No, I went to elementary school in New Jersey.
Okay. All right. And then what state is Jersey?
The Garden State.
Okay, that's fine. I'll give you a point there. But when did it become? Well, it's 2-2. When did it become a state? Like 1 through 50. What number?
Oh, I'm gonna go
3,
7.
4.
3. It's 3.
Yeah.
Last question.
Oh, wow.
What is
Tom's got a one question lead.
What is the state song of New Jersey?
Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen, if I had to take a random guess.
Atlantic City by Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, something by Bruce.
The answer is Anything by Bruce Springsteen. So you both get a point.
Wow.
Both. He's born in Monmouth County, right? So Anything by Bruce Springsteen is the answer because Jersey is one of 2 states without a state song. So they just go with Anything by Springsteen.
There you go.
There it is.
Thrilling.
You guys did really good. You guys are both Jersey guys.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a high scoring match.
Where do you get your chains at, Tom?
Where to get my what at?
Your chains.
Oh, I don't wear it. my boardwalk chains from the people from Jersey Shore.
Well, you might not wear it, but
I'm a real Jersey perch. We don't actually rock those things.
oh,
Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah, but Pat, what's the barbershop near you? I'm sure you could pick up a chain. What's it called?
What's the barbershop near me? In Rutherford, New Jersey, there's literally, and I'm not fucking around, 12 barbershops on the same street. Styles something is the one I went to.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Tough competition.
Yeah, it's tough. I texted Trinidad the other day asking him, like, what should I spend on a chain? Because I was out at the shore, and I was thinking he's going to be like $400.
10,000?
He's like, 10 grand. It's a good investment. Who can afford that, man?
Bit much.
I know. Yeah. It's too much.
How surprising you guys!
I could have bought like 3 of my hot tubs with that.
Yeah,
chain
man.
money.
Yeah, I'd rather 3 hot tubs than 1 chain.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any other questions, Tom? What would you do in your first year in office? Like, what's your first focus? Like, what do you want to do?
Sure. Yeah. So the first thing I want to focus on, or there's 2 things I want to focus on big. One is the economy. It's making sure that taxes are low, regulations are low. COVID just crushed, especially in the state of New Jersey. COVID crushed small business. We need to allow them to build back. We need to allow them to get back on their feet and grow again, right? So the first thing we need to do is cut back all the red tape, all the taxes, all that kind of stuff that's strangling them. We need to allow them to grow. That's the first thing. The second thing is we need to fix our school system. Right now, what's going on in schools, we need to get back to teaching kids math and science and history and what's going to teach them the baseline, what's going to make them successful in the future, not critical race theory or not.
No one's teaching critical
schools. I'm sorry, what you said?
I think Pat froze.
I think Pat may have frozen.
Yeah, that's that Jersey internet. Are you going to help the internet out in Jersey, Tom? When you get seems to be an issue in Rutherford.
Yeah. But yeah, those are the 2 big things that we're looking for. What we're going to try to do, right? Is we got to fix the economy. We got to make sure that it gets back to what it was. In the 2018, 2019, area when it was the top it's ever been in this country. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to fixing our schools and setting our children up for success, because we don't set our children up for success, this country's in real big trouble going forward.
Tom, my dad has a golf buddy whose last name is Toomey, just like you, and they call him the Tombstone. Have you ever thought about maybe going by Tom the Tombstone or Tombstone?
So that's funny. Actually, I've had one person in my life call me that when I was like in 4th or 5th grade. My best friend from 4th or 5th grade would call me that.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're not going to mess with crypto if you get in there, are you, Tom?
I need to learn more about that before we do anything. I know a lot of people are playing the game.
You just call me. I'll fill you in on anything you need to know.
Yeah,
well, I got friends who call me every day with pitching this coin or that coin. And
this is like the aliens. We need just a carte blanche agreement that you'll not mess with crypto and also share the aliens.
Let our goddamn portfolios recover, Tom.
Please, just
I agree with let the portfolios recover. That part I 100% agree with. Everyone needs that right now.
A lot of people got it in their portfolio now. It's not just the traditional.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely growing. You can see by the volatility of the market. You can see how much it moves around, how much, you have your friend calling you, say, buy this coin or buy that coin. I mean, it's definitely in play. I think it's a new and emerging thing that, especially from the government angle, we need to understand first before we touch it. We need to learn really what it is, understand it before anyone does anything with it. Just mass regulating a market because, the people are making a ton of money off this. Let's regulate it. We're not going down that route. It's understand what it is first before you do anything with it. People just want to say, the people are making a ton of money off it. Let's regulate it so we can tax them when the government can make more money. That we're not doing. We got to learn exactly what it is first, what are the benefits and the negatives of it before anything gets touched.
Mm-hmm. Tom, if you could give one message to your opponent, what's her name? Mikey or
Mike
Show? Mike, what would it be if I'm her?
Sure. It's to stand up. You ran as a moderate. You ran as the Tulsi Gabbards of the world that fights for the people. Tulsi Gabbard's on the Democratic side, but she's still great. And, she actually fought for her constituents. Although I don't agree with all of her policy, you knew she was actually there to fight for the people. And, Mikey Sharp, what she does right now is whatever Nancy Pelosi tells her to do, she goes and does. I call her a do-nothing politician because anything that goes wrong, she says nothing. Then when Nancy says do this or Chuck Schumer says do this, she goes and does those things. And you ran as a moderate. Be the moderate you said you were running on, because right now you're not. You're playing the political game and you're not standing up for the people.
Nancy is scary.
Yeah, she makes you want to toe that line, huh?
She's in charge.
I don't find it to be very scary. If you're not, if you're playing the corrupt political game and only out for yourself, you're not scary to me. Fight for the people. That's what you should be doing.
No, that bureaucracy scares the shit out of a lot of people in D.C. Trust me, Tom.
And again, that's why I'm trying to do this. That's why I'm trying to be a congressman. That's why I'm running for this, is to fight back against that and actually be a voice for the people and actually fight back against that. I know a lot of people are scared of it, and a lot of people, you know, they don't know what to do with it or how to fight back against it. And that's what I'm here to do, is to fight back against that.
I have another Jersey question for you related to
Sure.
small business. How come there's a small business deli worth $100 million in Jersey? What's going on there?
Yeah, your hometown deli
Your hometown
over
deli.
there.
I'm not sure, actually. I actually haven't really looked into that.
Oh, bro, are you kidding?
It's
It's
a
got what?
story.
It's got no. Actually, I know what you're talking about. It's got an evaluation of $100 million.
Yes,
When
it's
I-
publicly listed, and it makes $37,000 in sales a year, but it's valued at over $100 million.
I heard they had the first ever pork roll that's there, and that's why it's so
Oh,
big.
okay.
That's
Okay, fair enough. That's a very valuable sandwich, the pork roll. Okay,
Tell you what,
I'll be getting a pork roll next week when I'm at the Jersey Shore. I'm excited.
We called BS on that situation from a mile away, and the son of the guy that owns that deli
He's
got
not happy.
in our faces. He was not happy.
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, I mean, the only thing I saw that had $100 million evaluation, which I thought was, you know, quite interesting. So
I would take a look. I would take a look at it.
But I'd just like to say it's probably got either the best pork roll or best pastrami or whatever it is, you know.
That's a good answer for the people of Jersey. You know,
I would take a look at it because the rumor is that a Chinese, that's a front for a Chinese company. So I would take a look at it. It's dangerous.
You know, there's some other stuff going on, but it's good that you're giving your constituents the benefit of the doubt there. You know, just like
guilt, innocent until proven guilty. Right?
Yeah, you're innocent until proven guilty in this country. So
yeah.
Tom, I like your message. I hope I hope what you're saying is true, because that's what we need.
That.
So yeah,
we're gonna call this episode the Tombstone.
The Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Thanks,
All
Tom.
right.
Yeah.
All
Anything
right,
else?
brother? Appreciate you.
I think that's it. Thanks so much, Tom.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Tom.
have a good one, brother.
Yeah, talk soon. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.